Imagine working in a place where a tiny electrical spark could ignite flammable vapors and turn into a serious fire or explosion. That's the reality inside an oil refinery. From crude oil storage tanks and processing units to pumping stations and control rooms, refineries operate around highly flammable liquids, gases, and vapors. In such environments, ordinary electrical equipment simply isn't suitable. Welcome to the Bharat Flameproof podcast. We are the leading flameproof manufacturer and exporter in India. We provide a wide variety of flameproof control station products, flameproof junction boxes, and flameproof light fittings, all known for their precision-engineered design and excellent performance. We talk about flameproof and explosion-proof equipment, hazardous area safety, and the technology that helps industries operate safely in demanding environments. In today's episode, we're taking a closer look at essential flameproof equipment used in oil refineries. We'll discuss why refineries need specially designed equipment, what to consider before choosing it, and some of the important standards and certifications you should know about. So let's get started. Why do oil refineries need flameproof equipment? An oil refinery has many different hazardous areas. There are crude oil storage tanks, chemical processing units, pumping stations, pipelines, and other areas where flammable gases and vapors may be present. Now think about an ordinary electrical switch. When you turn it on or off, a tiny electrical spark can occur. In a normal environment, that spark may not cause any problem, but in an area where flammable gas or vapor is present, even a small spark can become an ignition source. That's why refineries use specially designed flame-proof or explosion-protected electrical equipment. This equipment is built with strong enclosures designed for hazardous environments. The enclosure helps contain an internal ignition and prevents flames or hot gases from escaping and igniting the surrounding atmosphere. That means the equipment can continue doing its job without becoming an additional ignition risk. And this requirement applies across many parts of a refinery. Workers need reliable lighting for nighttime operations. Ventilation systems may be required to help manage hazardous gases, and heavy machinery needs to be operated through properly designed control panels. This is why choosing the right equipment isn't simply about buying electrical products. It's about choosing equipment designed, tested, and certified for the environment where it will be installed. What should you consider when choosing flameproof equipment? So what should you look for before selecting flameproof equipment for an oil refinery? There are several important factors. 1. Material quality. First, consider the material. Refineries can be harsh environments. Equipment may be exposed to chemicals, moisture, salt in the air, weather conditions, and mechanical impact. That's why durable enclosure materials such as quality cast aluminum alloys or stainless steel are commonly considered for hazardous area applications. The right material can help equipment withstand the conditions it will face during everyday operation. 2. Temperature class. The next factor is temperature classification. Different gases and vapors have different ignition temperatures. At the same time, electrical equipment produces heat while operating. So, the surface temperature of the equipment needs to remain within the appropriate limits for the hazardous atmosphere where it will be installed. This is where the T rating or temperature class becomes important. Before selecting equipment, make sure its temperature classification is suitable for the specific gases and conditions at the installation site. 3. Choose the right manufacturer. The manufacturer you choose also matters. Not all flameproof equipment is made to the same specifications. An experienced manufacturer understands hazardous area requirements and the conditions equipment may face in industrial environments. They should also have appropriate testing and certification for their products. So, before placing an order, check the manufacturer's credentials, product certifications, testing information, and technical documentation. 4. Think about the complete system. Another important point is system compatibility. Flameproof equipment doesn't work in isolation. Lighting, junction boxes, control panels, switches, cable glands, and other electrical components all need to work together as part of the same installation. For example, a junction box needs to be suitable for the cables and equipment connected to it. A control panel needs to be compatible with the electrical system, and lighting equipment needs to match the hazardous area requirements of its location. Good planning at this stage can help avoid wiring problems and installation issues later. Important standards and certifications. Now let's talk about certifications. When you're dealing with hazardous environments, looking at a product and deciding that it looks safe isn't enough. The equipment needs to meet the relevant safety requirements for its intended application. There are several certifications and standards you may come across. PESO certification. First is PESO, the Petroleum and Explosives Safety Organization. PESO plays an important role in regulating petroleum, explosives, and hazardous substances in India. For equipment used in relevant hazardous applications, it's important to verify the applicable PESO requirements and certifications before installation. Always ask your supplier for a current certification and technical documentation. ATEX. You may also come across ATEX. ATEX refers to European requirements for equipment and protective systems intended for use in potentially explosive atmospheres. Products designed and certified to applicable ATEX requirements are widely used in hazardous area applications around the world. IECEx. Another important certification system is IECEx. IECEx is an international certification system related to equipment used in explosive atmospheres. It helps provide a common framework for assessing equipment against relevant international standards. The exact certification required depends on the equipment, installation, location, and applicable regulations. So, before purchasing, always ask the manufacturer or supplier for clear and up-to-date certificates and verify that they apply to the specific product you're considering. Choosing the right equipment for your refinery. At the end of the day, there isn't one piece of equipment that solves every refinery's safety requirement. The right solution depends on the hazardous area, the gases or vapors present, temperature classification, environmental conditions, electrical requirements, and applicable standards. That's why identifying and classifying hazardous areas should come before selecting equipment. Once those requirements are clear, you can choose the appropriate flame-proof lighting, control panels, junction boxes, switches, enclosures, and other electrical equipment for each location. And that brings us to the end of today's episode. Conclusion. Oil refineries are complex environments, and electrical safety plays an important role in keeping people and operations protected. The right flame-proof equipment, combined with proper area classification, suitable installation, and the required certifications, can help reduce ignition risks in hazardous areas. If you're planning a new installation, upgrading an existing refinery, or simply want to learn more about flame-proof equipment, visit bharatflameproof.com to explore Bharat Flameproof's range of products and solutions for hazardous industrial environments. If you found this episode useful, share it with someone working in industrial safety or refinery operations. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the Bharat Flameproof podcast for more episodes on flameproof and hazardous area equipment. Thank you for listening. Stay safe, choose certified equipment, and we'll see you in the next episode.